Muy buenas a todos, chicos, estoy aquí con Wunder y con Mikyx, el top lane y el support de G2, aunque bueno, después de esta partida cualquiera sabe en qué línea juegan. First of all, thank you very much for being here. You just won, you just classified to Worlds, you earned the first position in LEC. First of all, for you, how does it feel?
Feels pretty good. Haven't been to Worlds in 3 years, so making it there feels pretty great. But we didn't quite make it because we might still have to go to play-ins, but it's very unlikely. But yeah, just feels pretty good. Hopefully I can make it further than we did last time. Get more than one win. But yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was to Worlds last year, right? So
Yes.
And I fought all the way through play-ins, so that was kind of fun and all. But with this team, I feel like we just won MSI, right? So we have like last year in G2 I became a third place, and we didn't really have a lot of expectations, and especially like from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And this time we have like a lot of people looking at us as like the potential best team and like the best chance that Western League has had at winning a world championship in probably forever, right? Since the start. So it's like a different feeling. I was expecting to make it to Worlds after winning MSI and after like pretty much how the entire year has went so far. So. Yeah. Not really any surprise, not to sound cocky or anything, but I would still like to win the split again.
Mm-hmm. For example, you were last year, so is kind of more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, you've been 3 years without being classified. So is it like, oh my God, I'm classified and I cannot believe it, or is it like pretty obvious with this year? I don't feel that excited.
I mean, for this year, after how the years went so far, I mean, I was kind of expecting it, you know. And I still expect us to win somewhere as well. So,
mm-hmm.
But I mean, I also expected to make Worlds when I joined this team. But yeah, I mean, then again, I also expected every year in the past that I played I would make Worlds, but I didn't. So
I let you because the difference between you this year and you when you were classified the last time is, I think, kind of obvious. But for example, you. It's only 1 year. What's the difference between Wunder last year and Wunder this year?
I think it's mainly like team-based things, because last year we had like a very, very strict playstyle, like how we wanted to play. Like I basically played one of certain champs and we could win the game. If I played like a certain style of champs, we had like pretty much no chance to winning. So depending on how the meta is this year, of course, I don't know if it will be the same as last year's Worlds. I will be able to show, I guess, more things that I weren't able to show before with previous iteration of G2. And myself as a player, I mean, I'm more confident that I guess we can win it all since we've won MSI, and I feel like I did pretty good personally on like a individual level.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just like confidence, both in the team and in myself as a player, right?
But do you guys really care about the meta, or is it a joke? Is it like I've seen you playing.
A lot of champs.
Yeah, like Soraka with Smite and all this stuff. Today, you were playing mid, you were playing king. Talking about today's match, how was it? Was it because you really don't care if Fnatic has to make a tie break with you, or why was this match?
So, well, from the start of the split, I really wanted to play against Mickey, XL Mickey, in the mid lane. But he escaped to the jungle, so maybe I'll get him next time. But yeah, that was the plan all along. Even if the game mattered, I'm confident that I would win mid lane and I would win the game alone, just like
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think meta or like Worlds meta will be much different, and even if it changes, I don't think we will have any problems. And yeah, I mean, there could be also in the future as well, but I guess we'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, you can talk about meta and like us not caring about the meta, right? But Worlds is like played on the same patch for basically like 2 months, you know? So it's like way more defined than from week to week in LEC, for example, where nobody really knows like what the actual best picks are. But come Worlds, of course, there's still meta development, like you see in other World Championships, where like some pick suddenly comes up in like semifinals or something, right? And it's being like either permabanned or like spammed throughout the rest of the tournament. But it's like way more defined, and there's like not a lot of niche picks, where right now there could be like a lot of niche picks that nobody knows about that you can just pull out, and I feel like you can make a lot of things work in comparison to the past, where you probably couldn't make stuff like Soraka Toughest might work. And maybe it's because, I mean, maybe it's just how the game is right now, that there's a lot more champs that can be played.
All the champs that you play in the top lane,
Mm-hmm.
how much do you practice them? And what kind of paper does Grabs to do in your choices?
Well, Grabs has no say in what I play.
It's
It's all my own theory crafting, and if he has any problem with what I play, I'll just play it anyways because I don't actually care about his authority or anything like that. And like, yeah, how much I practice the champs. Sometimes I play them first time on stage, or even like maybe one scrim game. I think I probably played like one scrim game before we played on stage. Same with Soraka. So like it just depends, right? But I played it for sure in solo queue, and I know it can work, and I know that if I like just tell my team what I need or what I don't need, or like how my champion works, then like we can for sure play around it. So it doesn't really make a big difference if they played with it a lot, since they're all very, I guess we're all very open-minded. We all really know like what a champ can do without actually having played it before and how to like play around it. So it's pretty, I guess, easy to pull out new stuff.
Oh yeah. Also to the previous question,
Yes.
if we lost today, we would not have tiebreaker, but we would Fnatic would already be first. But I was confident if I go mid, we would not lose. But even if we did, they would just have side selection, which I don't think matters too much.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
doesn't really matter. I think in the big picture, like side selection, because I'm pretty confident that no matter what side we play on, we'll probably 3-0 Fnatic or like anyone else in playoffs. So yeah, we just actually didn't really care too much.
And talking again about the champs, I don't know if you remember, but in MSI I asked you that if it was true that you had the best Rakan in the world. Perks said, yes, he does. And today Perks played Rakan.
So
was it because of you, or why was it?
No, he really likes playing Rakan, and he really wanted to play it, because I told him that the first time playing Rakan on stage is always really fun, but he's also pretty good on Rakan. And yeah, no matter what, he would play Rakan today. And he did pretty well, so maybe he might just be the best Rakan in the world right now. And I can gracefully take the second place.
So the only reason that you played mid was because you wanted to face Mickey against Mickey?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. So one prediction, what's going to happen? What team are you most afraid of, like for a best of 5, if there is one?
I think, well, I mean, obviously, just looking at the split so far and like how teams have played, I think probably Fnatic would give us like the best run for the money. But at the same time, now that Origin is not in playoffs, I thought they would be a team like with a break and like with a time to like refresh and think about like how they could actually like play the game properly. They could probably be like a dark horse, but not in playoffs at all. So I'm not really afraid of any team. I feel like stylistically against Splice was like the other team. I don't think they could like ever beat us probably, because they don't take a lot of risk early game, which is fine, right? But I think we just like take over the game every single time when we play against them, and they can only like sit in maybe they can like win one game where they have like ultra scaling and we can't close out the game probably, but I feel like we're pretty good at closing out the game, and I don't really think they could ever like win a BO5 against us. Maybe like one game, but that's all I'll give them, honestly.
And what about you?
I mean, I pretty much agree. I think maybe if Vitality make it, they could like do some crazy stuff early game, because they're like pretty good early game team, or they have some crazy picks. But yeah, I think Fnatic is probably the strongest out of all the playoffs teams. Well, after us, but yeah, they could maybe take a game or two, but doubt they can win three in a single day.
And what about Worlds? For example, you couldn't win IG. I think.
Well, IG is not even like that strong at the moment in China.
Yeah,
I mean, they are in the playoff like contention, right? But there's like, I mean, I think Chinese teams are strong, even though like the Rift rivals, the Asian Rift rivals, LCK won pretty handily. But yeah, I mean, I think the Chinese teams like overall just mechanically are pretty solid, so they'll be fun to play against. And as a region, we don't really have a very good track record against them. So.
Yeah, and I would really like to play RNG, especially Uzi and Ming. I think they're like really insane bot lane, so I'd like to play them. And then maybe Griffin or SKT could be pretty fun to play against as well.
Are you confident then that you can win Worlds?
Yeah, there is definitely a chance.
So, what would you do if you win Worlds? It's like you have won everything. Is the time to retire? Is the time to keep winning things? What do you think?
I mean, I think it all happened like so fast that if we were to retire, it would be like kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, it's like it's like an insurance, you know, like once you retire at some point, you can at least say you won Worlds on MSI if you never happen to do it again, right? So it will be like pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it would be better if we won 3 in a row, because then they're better than Faker. Because Faker didn't win 3 in a row.
That's true.
So we could win 3 in a row and then we're better than Faker. So.
Yeah.
Cool. And now that you're mid laner, so
Yeah. I can also mid and like win with every role or something like that. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
we can just every role swap play every World win.
And what do you guys think about the people who's saying that you are so disrespectful, that Riot should ban any kind of behaviors like this? You know, Scissor Rock, Caps and you did yesterday and all this stuff. So what do you think about this? Or do you think that is something that it needs to happen because it's funny, that is like entertainment, is something to get the people touched, you know? Or is it something that... Tell me your opinion.
I think when it comes to like stuff like that, usually like we are trying to win the game. Like no matter what draft we have, we are trying our best to win the game. And sometimes, I mean, we have like some weird win conditions that we have to abide by, right? But I think like my philosophy on it, I mean, we are 15-3, right? So we didn't like hand out wins here and there, you know? I mean, we had like some experimentation, which sometimes failed and sometimes worked, right? More often it actually worked since we have like so many wins, right? But yeah, I mean, if one win to some team can knock out someone from playoffs, I feel like ultimately it's just like on their end that they should have, I mean, not relied, I guess, on us to like hand someone one win, even though I guess like we tried our hardest. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they should like blame us for being one win away from making it when they could have won like so many more games themselves.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, Rogue lost to Soraka top, so I mean, I think it's our test of like we're testing teams. If they're actually a good team, they'll win against a weird draft. But otherwise, they'll just lose. You know.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to say to the community, to the fans that are supporting you, and what can we expect from you for this playoffs phase, and after that for Worlds?
Well, as always, thank you guys for supporting us, and you should probably expect us to have smooth sailing through the playoffs, just like last split. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be smooth sailing. Yeah, we are gonna delete everyone off the map, and I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I've been in G2 since 2018 now, and they have always been like very supportive. Even last year when we had like maybe like a rougher way to the World Championship, right? Now we already made it, so I guess they're happy and they keep supporting us, and yeah, pretty much it.
Thank you much for being here. Eso ha sido todo, chicos. Espero que os haya gustado esta entrevista. Esta y muchas más en el canal de YouTube de ESPORTMANIACOS. Hasta luego.